Sydney, Australia. I think it's Australia edition, right? So not only Sydney, but we have like it's all the Road to OSDC events which are happening across the world. They have a city name attached to it um, to promote the local connection which we had, right? So this is one of my favorite quotes from related to community is that we never grow alone, always with the community. So those, I guess all of you might have already attended or you are part of OutSystems community for a while, but those who are new, I just wanted to say that this is a massive, like a big community of over 520,000 developers today since the inception of OutSystems. And many of us, I think, is this from Australia? Or not?
I think
I'm
it's
not
from
sure.
Philippines.
It's from Philippines. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a very active community, and welcome you all again. So outsystems.com/community is the homepage, right? That is where you find all the information about community. On the left, you see some pictures. So hopefully, whenever things open up in your part of Australia, we can host offline events soon. Something is already being planned to other side of Australia in Perth offline, hopefully. So that is being done. But yeah, towards your coast, Sydney, hopefully we can plan something offline soon. But yeah, I think you already have a session on champions and MVP, like talking about those programs. They are really good programs for everyone to get benefited or get recognized for your efforts which you make to the community. And yes, so a lot of this happens. There is a lot of action which happens behind the scenes, and one of that is Road to OSDC. So how Road to OSDC came into being is OSDC was coming up, and we thought, hey, we have all these user groups across the world, and why not, and many of user groups they hadn't had a chance to meet from a long time. So we thought, let this be the reason, right? And we just started talking with some organizers, and it's finally here. So we are here on on the road to OSDC. We are in Sydney. Next is Jakarta and Kuala Lumpur today, right after this event, and then we will have India events, and then we have few events in the next week as well. So yeah, but all in all, over the 6 days, all these user groups across the world are meeting, with these for Road to OSDC events, and for you to come together before OSDC, plan your OSDC experience, share your experience of the past conferences, what you have learned, your journey so far. Yeah. So let's get started. I will hand over to Patricia to take it further from here.
Okay, thank you, Yash. I will just introduce the agenda and let's get started. So what we have today, we have Leonardo, Joao, Ossama, John, Salamat, and Raphael. They are tech leads and MVPs. And we have planned, let me just, oops. So we are starting now with what is it like to be an OutSystems developer and their journey. We have some experience to share about OSDC, and at the end we have Kahoot. So we have the winners with a special prize that Yash is going to tell at the end. And let's start with John Salamat from Philippines. John, it's up to you now.
Thank you, Patricia. If I can share my screen.
Oh, that was the reason I said, is it Australia? Because I saw John right at in the front.
I was just I was just there before yesterday when you did the user group in the Philippines. So nice to see you again.
Raphael is in Brazil, and Leo is in Brisbane, is not in Sydney. So we are already international here.
Wow.
Good to see growing community in Sydney. So Without further ado, guys, would like to squeeze this to 10 minutes. So just on my end, I'd like to share the story of like what are the things that I find advantage of making use of OutSystems platform comparing to my old world of traditional development. So, pardon me, marketing team of OutSystems. I didn't meant to rename the Out in OutSystems, but I'm just making use of this wordplay for me to go through with this presentation. So, as mentioned, I'm tech lead in Phoenix. So that's that. So one of the cool things that when I started in OutSystems is the ability to give the speed that customer needs. When I started back then, I was part of OutSystems organization, and one of the things that we're tracking is the lead time to first value. So I got curious to that key indicator, to that objective that we do need. And I dug through the description of it, and it's a key indicator wherein you are able to offer to the customer a real tangible value in time when it's needed, because as we talk about software development, we often talk about like getting to the edge of that product. There would be different product out there, but when you didn't get in time, you lose your effectiveness to the market. And so OutSystems offers this, and that what really strikes me is like when I got into to this type of coding, I haven't heard like after 12 months we'll go live. It's at least on my experience, it's always less than that. The go live is being defined really the MVP of the product. And so what I'll be doing next is just defining some key features that I particularly would associate to the speed of how OutSystems offers that through different tools, and what are the features that the platform offers. So the first one is like when doing about traditional development, we often start with thinking about authentication and authorization. Without systems, we already have the ability to integrate upfront, out of the box, with this different IDPs or identity provider. So other than the internal authentication that OutSystems offer, you could integrate to Microsoft Active Directory, Azure AD, and SAML 2.0 Okta, and the traditional one, which is the LDAP. So this really gives you a good start, not thinking about what kind of implementation you will have on the authentication. Before OutSystems, I was like, I need to tag along all this authentication to those endpoints, to those REST API, before I get to secure my system. So that's really something that I like in OutSystems. Another thing is the IDE. So with Service Studio, you could it could be just one tool for you to just develop something that's significant. Service Studio has those different feature where with one click publish, unlike so with this feature, you don't have to think about build configuration. You don't have to think about how you would sort the projects on your solution. So it's really offering upfront encapsulation that you could make use for to simplify your coding and your software development process. Debugging is one of the things that I appreciate in Service Studio. It's kind of similar, I would say, with Visual Studio, if you have gone through with that IDE as well. But generally, what really what I really appreciate on this is with other IDE, you often need to think about like how would you be able to see the values of while you are on debug mode and things. With Service Studio, it's given. It's part of the IDE to see as you go through by breakpoints, or elements by elements. You'll be seeing what's on the background. and something that's giving us more information in there is there's that warnings at the bottom, which entails best practices. These are just three major features that I like about Service Studio, but really there's more in it. So one thing on a traditional development as well is, especially for a developers, I know this is a painful one, is thinking about UI framework. Back then, I would have to think about the classes from Bootstrap. I would have to pick up some patterns from GitHub, download whatever reusable components that's in there. But with OutSystems UI framework, it kind of give you already those common patterns that you could use across your application, and it provides that consistency on the UX. I remember one application that I gone through during the traditional development where the date picker is different from one page to another. Maybe you kind of had that experience as well back then. But given the framework that OutSystems is using, that kind of avoids that scenario. It's responsive by default. So when you're thinking about mobile and desktop development, it's part of it in general. I put an asterisk in there because sometimes you have to adjust things still. It's highly extensible, so you could still override the classes that's defined, or even fork the reusable components that's inside this framework. With DevOps, I particularly like Lifetime. Prior to this, you might have came across with tools like Jenkins. There's that MS Build or other building tools out there. You don't have to do the nitty gritty details. Lifetime does all the heavy lifting for you. Kind of manage the different environments, how application cascade to one environment to another. Also, some permissions for the IT users or the developers that would be publishing to the systems is part of Lifetime. There are some monitoring tools that are available as well on this tool. So it's pretty much a one-shop kind of tool that you could get to operate the development on your software. So on this one, while you can see the theme that I am presenting is like kind of a Formula One theme. You are not seeing here Formula One track, but rather this is like a diagram that I pick up from a merging tool from a previous development, like a high code development. And as you could read on the diagram, it's very complex. And in OutSystems, um, this merging is simplified. You don't have to think about branching and doing a merge hell at some point. Um, they in OutSystems you kind of have one pipeline, and there are some strategies in there to branch with abstraction using feature toggling. So that's some strategies for you to do that. But really, what I would like to highlight is the pain that you had before in traditional development, where you have to choose the source control that you need, like TFS or whatever. In OutSystems, that's given. It's part of the platform together with the DevOps tool that I mentioned. And I think this is the last slide that I got, which is like you will be given with a key that kind of drives like an F1, but be careful with it. So be cautious on doing things because it drives so fast, and you don't want to be this guy who will be hit by that car. And that's it. That's the end of my presentation. Hope you got something in there, guys.
Thank you, John. Thank you. We were, if we could ask you just one question about what is in this all these features, what do you think it's it's a key thing to know to develop your career in OutSystems. Like you need to be proficient or very good in all these features to evolve. That's the step, the next step.
Right. Thanks, Patricia, for that question. I think while these are like the starting point and the encapsulation that OutSystems bring, I think it's important to know the underlying technologies behind it. Like for a UI framework, OutSystems UI, it's still useful for us to have knowledge about the CSS and things. When it comes to integration, there's that part where you would need to write something that's outside the usual. So things like C sharp would also help, plus some JavaScript if you are going to the advanced path. But but thinking about what OutSystems offer, it's enough for you to start with something and grow your career as you move forward.
Thank you, John. Does anyone else want to make any question to John before we proceed with Leo? No? So Leo, the presentation now is yours.
Okay. So sharing screen. All right. Can you see the screen? Yes. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So one of my experiences that I thought it was a challenge. Joao Melo with me also helped me have this. And the story actually goes back to 2018. This company, I was faced with this challenge, which is to integrate OutSystems in Azure AD. Scenario is something like this: both OutSystems and SAP AD, and they use single sign-on. Of course, OutSystems is more suitable for front ends and users access OutSystems application. They use single sign-on, so they log in using Azure AD. And they create some bugs in SAP. And the challenge is SAP knows the user that initiated the transaction. And explain how the single sign-on works. So for the authentication, when they use the login screen, well, the OutSystems application is registered in Azure AD, so they both each other. And that is request a login from Azure AD. And then after validating the username password, for example, gives us back a token. Now, this token is interpreted or by our OutSystems application, and I represented this by a colored token or colored OutSystems. So because they both know about each other, it is able to representing the user that OutSystems can use. Okay, so we have access to the username, the user enabled, disabled, department of the user. So I'll read that. The same thing goes for SAP. If we into SAP, it uses the similar flow, which is SAP requests a login for Azure, and Azure returns or issues a token which SAP can use. Okay. Note the color of the token is similar to the keypad. It's not the same color as it was in the previous slide, and the reason this systems know about each other, they trust each other, and they shared a few secrets between each other. Same these two systems, they trust each other, they share some other secrets with each other, and they are different secrets, which makes these key the blue. And now that we understand how single sign-on works, we can see how an OutSystems application is going to issue the REST API on SAP. So of course we have our on Azure AD and we receive that token from the user. We can just send that token to SAP representing the user. And as you know, red key doesn't fit into a blue. So because the token is incompatible and SAP doesn't know how. So this actually took me more than a year. Well, I gave up on this problem on my first company, and then at Phoenix, my current company, it had another customer same requirement. But thankfully, we actually found a solution, and that the solution involves an extra step, which is okay. We do have we're going to send it to Azure AD, and we're going to ask, can you give on behalf of the SAP? So here's the RAG token, and here's the system that I want the token to access on behalf of for that third-party system. And then is able to write back with the blue token. OutSystems can't do anything with that blue token. There's no way for us to read or look into this token. But the thing that we are able to do with the blue token is invoke the REST API and set this happy and everything. All right, that was my presentation.
On the dot. Perfect timing, Leo. If anyone want to make any question, please type in the chat, and I can make the question at the end or give you the time to ask anything to Leo.
Sure.
Does anyone else want to make a comment? Joao, do you want to make a comment on Leo's presentation?
How much time do we have? That's because, yeah, it's interesting to share, and thanks, Leo, for bringing this up. Like, it brings a lot of good memories. There was a very tough project. We worked together, I think it was 2 years ago already, and it was very challenging. I remember the authentication and all the certificates involved and all the complexity around signing, re-signing tokens and all the technologies involved. And now that we see the solution, it seems easy. To be honest, we're seeing 3 big colorful boxes on the screen, and it seems, well, it doesn't seem that complicated. But after you realize what you need to do to get to the solution, you actually explore every single authentication method out there. And that's what we did at the time. I remember we had a big SAP team. We involved people from Microsoft, and there was a lot of network complexities as well involved in the client's infrastructure. So until you rule out all the options that are not applicable, you really end up trying a lot of stuff. So it took us a few months to get to the solution. The application is live for over 2 years now, and we're super happy. The client is super happy with the experience. And I think we can say that we reached one of the highest security levels I've ever worked in my life, with so many security layers to safe net all these applications in solution. So yeah, and once again, sharing the experience with Leo was awesome.
Leo, we have a question for you. Is this SAP authentication covered by the SAP connector, or is it a custom or out to flow?
So we actually don't SAP Connect because the customer wanted to use REST services. It looks like it's the preferred way to integrate. And yes, all of to flow. Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up leveraging the OData REST APIs from SAP, which is now supported by Integration Studio. Supported by Integration Builder. Although Integration Builder still doesn't support the solution we ended up putting in place involving Azure AD. But Integration Builder does support a few other authentication mechanisms, and we leverage the OData protocol provided by SAP.
All right, thank you, João. Thank you, Leo. I will give the stage now to Ossama. Ossama, that's all on you now.
Thanks, Perry. I actually wanted to tackle things a little bit differently, given the theme of OutSystems Developer. I wanted to talk about my personal journey as an OutSystems developer, some of the things I've been through so far, some of the key highlights, I guess, and why I decided to become an OutSystems developer. And maybe at the end, if there's a bit of time, I'll talk about why deciding to pursue an OutSystems development career actually gave me an edge or an advantage over pursuing a development career in any other traditional technology stack. So for me personally, my OutSystems journey started back in 2016. It was right after I finished my second year at uni here at Sydney, and I traveled back to the Middle East to visit my family in Kuwait, to be specific. If I'm not mistaken, 2016 was the first year UTS, which is the university I studied at, introduced a trimester structure, which meant that if you didn't have any summer courses, which I didn't, that third semester, you'd have a longer break. So I had around a 3-month break ahead of me, and I wanted to make use of my time. I didn't want to go to waste. So I joined an organization. I got an internship opportunity actually at an organization called ATC, Advanced Technology Company, in Kuwait. And to be very honest, the way this opportunity came about was a complete coincidence. It wasn't planned. I think I joined, if I remember correctly, I joined the organization because of a family friend or something along these lines. So it wasn't planned at all. I didn't even do an interview. So going into ATC, I didn't actually know what technology stacks they're using or what software development methodologies they adapt. And to be honest, back then, for me as a student, getting the commercial experience was actually more important at the stage anyway, rather than focusing on a particular development language. So I joined ATC early 2016, and to my surprise, they don't do any traditional development. They use this low-code platform called OutSystems. Of course, back then, I didn't know what OutSystems was. I haven't heard of OutSystems before. But as a matter of fact, ATC was the exclusive OutSystems partner in the Middle East, which meant that if there was any customers in the Middle East that wanted to adopt OutSystems or purchase an OutSystems license, they'd have to go through ATC. So what that meant is I got a lot of opportunities to sit in a lot of demos and workshops that the ATC team used to give to potential customers, talking about the platform and the features in the platform and why this platform can change the way you develop applications. So I got really good opportunities at ATC to get to know technology better. and get to know the platform better. And ATC was also the company behind Sapphire HMS. HMS standing for Hospital Management System. So back then, 2016, Sapphire I think was one of the first applications built on OutSystems, which proved that OutSystems can actually build enterprise scale applications. Sapphire was extensive. It was really, really great. And getting to sit on a lot of the agile ceremonies that they had, so sprint reviews and requirement collections, etc., I was able to experience how quickly Sapphire was growing in the limited time I was at ADC, which was like 2 months, I think. So needless to say, I was blown away by the platform, blown away by OutSystems. And I started to invest a lot of time in playing around with OutSystems. Obviously got a personal environment up and running and started playing around. And I had a buddy assigned to me at ATC as well, which helped me to learn more about the platform, and I started playing around with my own ideas. So I got really, really passionate about OutSystems and the community. And by the end of my time at ATC, the ATC team suggested and encouraged me to sit for the certification, sit for the Associate Traditional Developer certification. And I did, and I passed, and I was thrilled, of course. But to be very honest, at that time, as good as it was that I passed, I didn't expect for anything to come afterwards in terms of OutSystems, because OutSystems back then it was a very niche concept, especially in the APAC region, I think. And I didn't expect, to have any career changing, this is going to change my career, the way I'm going to be moving forward in my career. Of course, I was completely wrong. A few weeks later, after coming back to Australia, I completed my internship, updated my LinkedIn profile with the certification, came back to Australia, continued my studies, the third year studies, but it was only 3 weeks later after I came back to Australia when I was when an OutSystems partner reached out to me, and they found my LinkedIn profile because of my OutSystems certificate. Of course, I wasn't expecting that at all, and they asked me to come in for an interview. And a couple of weeks later, I started my OutSystems journey with that OutSystems partner. Of course, it was a really, really great way for me to commence my OutSystems development career, because working with an OutSystems partner, you get to work on multiple projects with multiple clients in multiple domains. So you get to experience the OutSystems platform in a lot of ways, which is also great, of course. And I think after almost 3.5 years with that partner, I transitioned to work with an OutSystems customer, which meant that this particular organization had their own OutSystems license, and they're working on their own set of OutSystems applications. And that was really great as well for me, because it encouraged me to explore the different sides of OutSystems development, because with the clients, with an OutSystems partner, you explore OutSystems with clients, multiple projects. With OutSystems customer, you explore, working on OutSystems in one environment. For that particular customer, it was a big environment. They have 9, 10 now mission critical applications, operation critical applications in production. So it was a really, really good experience for me with that organization. And then at the end of my time with that organization, that's where I transitioned over to Phoenix, where I am right now. A few things, thinking back at that journey, a few things that stand out to me in terms of why I decided to continue pursuing OutSystems as a career. Because when I first got introduced to the technology, I was still at uni, like I said, and I was actually I was taking Java classes, or I can't remember exactly what the technology stack was, but I was doing Java classes, and I was doing HTML classes as well, getting introduced to those languages. And of course, having to work on OutSystems in parallel just made me really see the value of the toolset and the platform compared to what I'm actually learning at university. So that's one of the first things that immediately made me more interested about OutSystems. And also the second thing was one of the first challenges that I was given at the first partner, the first opportunity, and it was only 2 months in, or 3 months in, I think, of that opportunity, was to put together an SSO solution for OutSystems applications and non-OutSystems applications, for customers to be able to log in one or the other, and then if they transition to the other application, they're automatically logged in there. So seamless SSO. Of course, back then, those first 2 months with that partner, with that OutSystems partner, were my actual first 2 months ever in any commercial environment. I was a fairly junior developer back then, but given all the tools that OutSystems provided, and a lot of the tools that John mentioned at the start, bundled with the community, with the Forge, online, I was able to put together that SSO solution. And of course, now thinking about it, if I was tasked to do that, or if I was challenged to do that with another technology other than OutSystems, using another language, I would have able to put that piece together, especially with the limited experience I had back then. So that's another one of the big things that really attracted me to the technology, and it enabled me to deliver a lot more functionalities and applications, which traditionally I would need way more experience to do. So that's really my OutSystems journey and where I am right now. I'm really interested to continue pursuing it. Pursuing a career in OutSystems is something I'm really passionate about because of what I've been through, and more than happy to jump into more details, in another session or another opportunity. But that's my OutSystems journey so far.
Thank you, Ossama. And everyone, if you want to reach out any of the presenters through LinkedIn or email or anything, we are open for questions or more details of what they are talking about. Thank you, Ossama, for sharing your journey.
Of course.
And I will ask Joao to start now.
All right, let's get started. So I actually prepared a presentation on what it is like to be an OutSystems developer, and I started preparing it, going through my experience, and I was thinking of sharing a bit of what I did to get me where I am. And I said, you know what, let me look ahead this time. And I've been thinking and wondering about a bunch of few things. And well, that's me. I've been working at Phoenix DX for over 2 years now. Moved to Australia 2 years ago. I'm from Brazil, been an MVP for over 7 years. And just to set the scene and bring us all to the same page, and that's thing that everyone out there has been reflecting and thinking about the new world we've been living, and everything that COVID brought along. And it first gets worse. So that's what COVID. That's how COVID cracked the world. I just brought some interesting numbers around the recession that most of the countries in the world started living, and interesting numbers about the number of flights in the world, just to set the scene around the critical times we've been living since 2020. Early last year it was super tough, including for us as well. We've been going through some very challenging projects, and that's when things get better. That's when IT hacks it and makes us believe again that we're living in a better world. I just brought an interesting example of how IT can hack the moment in the world we live in it, and for the common good. That's an example of a project we worked on with a Malaysian non-government organization, Zero Hunger. And that's an example that we're all at Phoenix very proud to share. That's a hackathon we worked with OutSystems late last year. And this year it became true. We helped them go live with an application that is helping them fight poverty and hunger in Malaysia. I just wanted to bring it as an example of the good we can do, even in tough and challenging moments. And I found this interesting chart when I was trying to wrap my head around what this new normal really means. That's a term that has been that has become a buzzword lately. Everyone is talking about this new normal, and I was trying to understand what it really means. And I think what's very common, and now everyone is talking about what's kind of really disrupt the world is the working from home factor. So that's just a very interesting chart I've found on significant changes in the world and in work relationship changes. And for example, participation of female in the labor force over 40 years, it wasn't as significant of a change if we compare it with the increase of work from home in just over 2 years. So that's something, that strongly and deeply affect the way we collaborate and we work as teams. Just wanted to bring it as a reflection. And then looking a little bit ahead, that's something that has been popping out in every single challenge and article we read these days about what IT can do for a better world. It's the hyperconnectivity. I'm not only talking about our cell phones being connected to Facebook on a daily basis and every single minute, but I'm talking about the Internet of Things and how connected devices can affect our lives. That's a very interesting number. This is not a projection. It's actually about the last year. We had 15 billion connected devices, from cell phones to smart fridges or smart TVs. And that represents a lot. Only in the last 3 years, the number of connected devices just doubled in the world. So it's just very interesting to wrap our heads around what impact it's going to bring to our lives and our careers as well, our profession. Another significant challenge is going to be around breaking silos. Everyone is now talking about, I want a more flexible work condition, working habit. I want to work more from home. I want to have a hybrid kind of working model. And when people are interviewed to talk about their post-COVID project, they are 52% of the people are open to a more hybrid, to working. That's something that's it can bring a significant disruption to our industry as well. Especially IT workers, we're pretty used to work from home or to work with remote teams. But now the change is way more significant than it's ever been. And we have been already challenged with working with dispersed teams. Not only with people working from home, but also people working overseas, right? I'm pretty sure that most of us here is pretty used to work with people from other countries. And working in remote conditions with not losing momentum, making sure that teams keep collaborating and delivering value, that's a significant challenge. And I think I just brought this teasing, very propaganda kind of slide here, just to tease and provoke a reflection. And that's something I've been reading for a while, at least in the last couple of years. A few challenging thinkers have been questioning whether agile is dead or not. And I don't think it is, of course. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of agilists here, and I'm not crazy to say let's give up with agile. It's too early. But the fact that there's an increasing number of people thinking about this, and not really about killing agile or abandoning it, but pretty much about questioning and pretty much thinking of new ways of keeping delivering value, whereas searching new ways of working. That's what it is all about. The teasing statement around agile is that is really to draw our attention to, we need desperately to find new ways of working, especially with the challenges we've been discussing in the last few minutes. So yeah, that's really a provocation and invite I would like to bring to everyone here. What does OutSystems have to do with all this, right? I haven't mentioned OutSystems so far. And I brought here, I decided to highlight a few of the most interesting things that are coming or that are brand new in the product, and things that I'm pretty sure they will help a lot ourselves as OutSystems developers moving forward. The first big thing, and I'm pretty sure OutSystems has been investing significantly lately, is in improving the developer experience. Not only by bringing a cross-platform hybrid IDE, long waited, whoever is here and works with Mac laptop knows what I'm talking about. It's been pretty challenging for people who work in the non-Windows world. And now OutSystems has finally released functional cross-platform that works on both Windows and Mac laptops. So now Service Studio is hybrid, and it's the most interesting thing is that you will have pretty much the same user experience on both platforms. This is really thinking of the experience of the developer's experience. Common texts are way more fluid, powered by artificial intelligence. Most of them are transparent. We must not have noticed, but the IDE is being significantly improved. Not only the IDE, but architecture dashboard has been leveraging a lot of artificial intelligence as well. Faster compilation. I'm pretty sure that most of you guys have noticed that now publishing a module, even a big one, takes under a minute. And the increased quality of components on Forge. They've been largely investing in officially supporting components on Forge and also improving the quality of them. Very briefly about how OutSystems has been improving its openness. Most of you might know it's public already, although not yet officially supported. But OutSystems has been working on a migration to .NET Core, which is going to make it more open, and it's going to support Linux. And there's also some discussion, some fuzz around the new cloud. I should probably not be talking about it because it's being recorded, but there's some new products and some new capabilities coming on new modern kind of cloud offer, which is going to be pretty cool. Super nice stuff to be announced very soon. So I think that's it. I just wanted to reflect and bring some drops of what's coming.
Thank you, João. Can you maybe answer the question from Balaji? He asked, what is the difference between Windows only and cross-platform?
Yeah, so the cross-platform, it's still Service Studio. You're gonna have the same IDE, the same Service Studio, working on Windows and Mac, and you're gonna have the very same experience. So if you, for example, work on your personal environment on a Mac, on your place, on your house, on your personal time, and at work you need to use a Windows laptop, for example, you're gonna have pretty much the same experience on both laptops. Not to say that Mac developers will be able to leverage way more value, extract way more value from the IDE than with the current experience, when normally people needed to use a VM on Windows running in Mac OS, and the experience was cumbersome. Can I answer Pedro Oliveira's question about the new cloud?
Please, João, please.
That's a question I'll leave on there, because that's really something just to tease you guys and to bring something around new stuff that's around the corner. But OutSystems has been exploring new solutions, new frameworks, and new products, and they're gonna be a significant revamp in the core architecture. Some of them have been already discussed on forums, like for example React Native. There's been some discussion on forums around a new UI framework. There's a new set of AWS products as well to be explored. definitely can't share much about it, but the announcements are really around the corner. So I just wanted to tease you guys and keep the curiosity up.
In OSDC, they will tell something about it. It's always a good moment for
For
them
sure.
for OutSystems to release new things.
Yeah, so heads up, there's gonna be some interesting announcements coming up.
Okay, so I will ask now Rafa to join the team and tell your part, your 10 minutes of story and share experience.
Thank you, Patty. Hello, everyone. I apologize. I didn't prepare it any slides, but there is something that I want to share with you. It's a fun fact. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Leveraging John presentation where he opened it with the OutSystems name, right? The out on the OutSystems name. I just wanted to bring you a very old topic on the OutSystems community, which was answered by Paulo Rosado himself. For who doesn't know, Paulo Rosado is the CEO of OutSystems, and he answered why they call it OutSystems. And it was because they wanted to show uh, something that they want to have something that would be the cloud today. So it's a very fun fact. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but here is the question. I will leave here for some minutes for who wants to read. And in the meantime, I would like to tell you guys, everyone, what OutSystems is to me and how it mostly changed my life for the better, for the best. Uh, I I will start talking a little bit about me. I am Brazilian. I am 20 years old. I am graduated in computer science, and before OutSystems, I worked a little bit with C sharp development. I even tried to do my own social network with other platforms, which was not good enough for the market, but was a very good try and experience. And the after I graduated, I just was looking for any type of job because I was doing an internship, then I graduated, I lost my internship, and I needed some job. I just wanted to work, right? And out of the blue, my old boss from my internship uh, gave an indication for my next boss, telling that I was a good developer, C sharp developer, and had a good vision of programming language and programming, right? So this this new boss that I would have presented me with OutSystems. He introduced OutSystems to me, and it was a very big surprise. I have actually a good luck, a very good luck, because my first training was with Leonardo Fernandes, which is also here. He was already an MVP back in that time. And when I started to know OutSystems and all the things that I could do, I just fell in love. I could see that that would be a very good thing to invest, and I started to invest to learn. After some time, I met also João back in Brazil. For who doesn't know, Leo and João are also Brazilians, same as me, and Patricia too. Right? So I met João, and I even learned more with Joao and Leo again. And 6 years later, I became an MVP. And now I am very proud and happy to be an MVP. And I'm going to Australia. So this is the type of change that OutSystems brought to my life, right? It was something that I never expected to be an MVP of some platform or some or anything, to be honest. And with OutSystems, I achieved more than I imagined for my life. And I would like to thank Leo and João for being part of this history, for helping me. And I wanted to say to everyone who is thinking of starting with OutSystems, it's a very good opportunity, especially internationally speaking. So go ahead and count on me. I hope I can be the Leo and João for you, for the newcomers. And another thing that I also want to show you guys is something that I did with OutSystems to show that OutSystems can also be fun, right? And can be very powerful. A lot of people, when we talk about OutSystems and that OutSystems is a low code, think that it's a very uh, shelf platform or off shelf platform, or that you can't innovate. And to prove that they were wrong, I tried to make a game without systems. So here you what you guys are seeing is totally made in OutSystems. It's a mobile game. The name is Outmon, is on Forge for who wants to see the code. You can download on the Forge and see how I did it. It has a mechanism, a mechanic where you can fight with your friends in real time. And in this case, I will just fight the CPU just to show you guys a little bit of the game. But what I want you guys to see, everyone to see, is the animations, the things that are not usually shown to people who work without systems, because normally we just do very let's say very tailored applications to some customer or some business. And the truth is that you can do anything without systems. OutSystems is a very powerful tool. And I hope everyone stay tuned for the OSDC, because a lot of things, different things like this one is coming. So even me, I am very anxious and very keen to see what is coming on this next year. And that's it, guys. I think it's it. I want to thank you, OutSystems. Thank you, Leo, João, and everyone from the community for being part and to give this opportunity to me, and hope it can be an opportunity to everyone else too.
You have and very cool your game. I never saw before. Ooh. You and John Salamat like to do games. We need to do like one just about games. I think we have so much to explore. And I'm sure all the developers will be very interested about how they can do this and more. Now we finish the experience time, and then we go for the tips about the OSDC. So I will give the 2 minutes for each, 3 minutes. Just make a comment and share with the community what you guys that have been many OSDCs and other forums from OutSystems think is the best and you can't miss. Okay. So let's follow the same order. John, up to you first.
Right. Let me open my camera. There's actually several topics in there that's really interesting. But what gotten into my attention is about the technical debt. Like as a technical lead, the topic that really interests me is that one. So I'll make sure to block my time and attend that one. Yeah, they're on mute, Patty.
Mute,
Do
Patty.
that. One meeting without you are on mute is not a meeting anymore.
The most useful thing in COVID, the
Yes.
word.
Thank you, Joe. And Leo, what's your tip for the team, for the community?
Just focus on track that you're interested in, and make sure to talk to MVP and you and get in touch with you. You're Patty, you're on it. Yeah.
Again, sorry. Now it's Ossama. What's in your opinion is the best in the agenda for the OSDC?
I wouldn't say the best, but one of the ones that immediately jumped out to me when looking at the agenda is there's a session titled "Fear of Architecture" or "Fear of Arc." One of the things that, if I could take it back to the my OutSystems developer journey, one of the things that I wished I learned a little bit earlier would have definitely improved my developing skills with OutSystems is knowing a little bit more about architecture early on. So this session will go over a lot of the components and tools and capabilities that OutSystems provide out of the box to assist you with architecture and getting your head around all of the best practices around architecture, so you can start your journey correctly as a developer. So that's the one I'll be looking out for.
Thank you, Ossama. And you, Joao, what's in your top of the list?
I've been pretty keen on UX related stuff lately. So there's going to be a fair amount of UX related topics. I think there's even one held by Ricardo Alves, who's a product manager at OutSystems, and he's directly involved with UX and UI and all the latest improvements. So I'm pretty keen to see that one. It's about engaging digital experience. Another interesting topic and super relevant lately with OutSystems getting closer and closer to AWS products. As the event is sponsored by AWS, there's going to be a few drops about what you can do with OutSystems and AWS products. So it's interesting to see what they have in mind. And well, I'm personally involved in a project for a while now with a huge offline synchronization challenge. So I'm going to be personally looking at offline related topics as well. But really to see what everyone is doing out there and share some experiences and see if I have some insights for the problems I didn't solve yet. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking at.
Thank you, Joao.
There's another UX related one as well. Following up on the topic of UX, tackling UX debt. That'll probably be another really interesting one as well if you're interested in the UX.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, OutSystems is a point of difference in terms of UX. So as much as we can use the tool, the platform to do better UX, better results we will have for sure. Raphael,
just one more I forgot about. I think and it's actually related to something I mentioned today about hyperconnectivity. There's a topic around the pandemic and IoT, which I found super interesting. It's going to be held by an OutSystems MVP as well, Pedro Coelho, and that's another one I'm going to be looking after.
Thank you. Thank you. And you, Rafa, what is in your list for the OSDC?
So, Patty, to be honest, all of them caught my attention, but there are two that I was most interested in, which is the can we build a car app using OutSystems? As as everyone could notice, I like very different things, so it may be interesting. I am keen to see it. And the other one is about the the app that I also did in the hackathon, like Joao said in the Zero Hunger. I did one other app which was called Strength United, which is for saving lives and helping people who suffer sexual assault or domestic violence. And I am very keen to see how it goes, how it went, and how it is being used now. Besides that, I am also very, very keen to see things about design, UX, UI, technical depth. So I will stay on every possible thread that I can see.
Thank you, Rafa. And you are in the opposite side, so you have a different agenda for sure than everyone else here in
Yeah,
APAC.
that's true. That's true. But the good news is that all the sessions will be recorded, so even the ones from America can be seen after on the other side of the world, or as I usually say, on the future, right? Because
Yeah.
everyone in Australia is on the future, one day ahead.
I always do this joke with my family. I say I'm the girl of the future. I wish I could
Exactly.
know what's gonna happen there and play some game, do some gambling and be rich. So anyway, guys, thank you everyone for joining. And now we have the Kahoot where you can get the special prize. Cecilia is gonna run the Kahoot team. Presenters are not allowed to participate because you know the questions, some of them.
Oh,
So
come
you
on.
can participate, but you can't win.
Yeah, you can't win. You can play, but you won't win.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, Ceci.
Okay, you can see my screen. You can see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so I will paste the code into the chat. But if you go to kahoot.it and go to that game number, we'll start playing. I love the fact that you're such a super nerd and going to every single session, Rafa. That just warms my soul. Love it. This is why we love our tech leads and MVPs, because they're so passionate. Okay, who's joining? I'm not going to kick anybody out. Oh, Nigel's in the game. We've got Leonardo. Got our MVPs in there. Jose is joining. Who else is coming along for a ride? We've got John. And anyone else? 30. Okay, so this is a fast game of Kahoots. If you've not played it before, the faster you answer the questions, the higher your points. So I think this is Ossama's secret. He answers very intuitively and very quickly. So go fast and you will get much higher score. I tried it once and it worked. I did win a Kahoot over Ossama. It can be done. So it is not an impossible task.
It's definitely going to be done this time because I'm spectating this time around.
Maybe we should make sure that you're on dial-up so the rest of us have a chance. So you've got 10 seconds to answer the question, so it's quite quick, and we'll start. Okay. This is the road to OSDC 2021 edition. Fingers at the ready. How many layers are there in OutSystems' latest architecture canvas? 2, 3, 4, or 5? I expect everybody to know this. Hey, it's going for more than 10 seconds. You guys have more time up your sleeve. Nearly everybody got that right. Good job. And Joao is in the lead. We've got an MVP at the top of the table. Who would have guessed it? Input parameters are always mandatory. True or false? That was so fast. I love how fast that was. You guys really took the advice. And now Rapha's at the top of the table. Excellent. What type of applications can you build with OutSystems? Oh, very good. Nobody fell for the trick answer. Love it, love it. Oh, Daniel's in the lead. Excellent. And John has hit a streak with 3 correct answers in a row.
Daniel,
on which customer review website does OutSystems have the most reviews? We're going for all aspects of OutSystems here. We're not just going for the technical stuff. Oh, very good. 9 of you are geniuses. And now, oh, Daniel's still in the lead. Excellent. John's still on a streak with 4 correct answers in a row. Which of the following authentication providers is not part of OutSystems out-of-the-box end-user authentication? I stumped somebody on this question today, so apparently it's not that easy. This one's taking a bit longer. A bit of a trickster one, this one. Only 2 people got it right. So you'll have to go away and research that. And Daniel is still in the lead. Leonardo is coming up the rear. Leonardo is on a streak with 5 correct answers in a row. What does OutSystems mean? If anybody gets this wrong, they weren't listening tonight. And I think Rapha's got a special trick that he uses in these Kahoots. He just always answers green. Yes, and green was the answer. I gave it away in the babble. Excellent. And now, oh, Leonardo is in the lead. Daniel's still in second place. Wow, it's getting tight.
Daniel, go.
It's getting tight at the top. In 2016, there were 7 billion people on the planet. How many internet-connected devices were there? Just a couple. The old Internet of Things. 23 billion. I think that was a bit of a scatter hit and miss, but we got some correct answers in there. Daniel's in the lead again. Excellent. It's between Leonardo and Daniel at the moment. And it's coming down to speed because you're getting correct answers. In 2020, there were 8 billion people on the planet. How many internet-connected devices were there? How much did it increase? Who's going to get the right answer? So the little techno duft-off music. Excellent. 50 billion. That is a lot. That's a lot of devices. And still in the lead is Daniel. Wow. Going strong. Question 9. Where did OutSystems get the biggest? When did OutSystems get the biggest round of funding? It's all about the money. Show me the money. And the answer is, nearly everybody got that right. It was pretty exciting. And now Leonardo's in the lead, and we've got one question left. Oh no, two questions left. How many assets are currently available on Forge? Just a few, just a couple. How many do you use? Do you use 3,820 of them, or do you use 4,355? Are you going to be like Rafa and just answer green for everything? And it was yellow. 4,021. And now the lead is still the same and unchanged, Leonardo. Wow. Okay, this comes down to the last question. When is OSCDC taking place? If you don't know this, you haven't been paying attention. Have you been paying attention? It's not just a TV show, it's a call to action. And of course, it's yellow, the 17th and the 18th of November, and we expect to see all of you there. Okay, in the podium we've got, in third place, Super Nerd. I love the name. And then second place, Daniel. And then the first place is, surprise, surprise, Leonardo! Woohoo!
But the real
winner is
Daniel.
Daniel.
Leonardo can't win.
So Daniel, you have to make sure to email Patricia.
Yeah, and who is the fourth one?
Oh, the fourth one. It did tell me, but I didn't see it in time.
So you probably can see.
Back to podium. Okay, it's going to go through the whole thing again, but it will show me. I do love the names. Who is Super Nerd?
It's me. I am.
Oh, that's you. Such a good name. I'm going to steal it in the future. So number 4 was Jose, and number 5 was
Eduardo. So
Fantastic.
Danielle and Jose, I'm putting my name here, my email here. Please email me your email, and I will send you the link to get the prize, okay?
Get the prize because it's a limited edition OSDC one. It's kind of cool and different, and the rest of us are not going to have that swag, and we will be jealous.
Oh, Jose is from OutSystems. He can't win.
Oh.
Who is the next one?
Back to the podium again.
Eduardo.
Play of that.
Can I see? I can't see it on view full report, maybe?
It was Eduardo. Eduardo was 5th.
Eduardo, it was Eduardo, yeah.
Okay, so Eduardo, please send me an email with your email, and I can send you the link back, okay? So you can fill your details and get the prize. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for your time, for being here, for making our night so much fun. Thank you, guys, for sharing your experience, for preparing your presentations, and to make this community so passionate, more and more active and connected and integrated. And next year, we are going to have more face-to-face events and across all Australia. So please fill the survey that you receive later. And tomorrow we are posting the video if you want to share with anyone, you know, like any friend or someone that couldn't come, you can share the video tomorrow through our LinkedIn page. Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you later in the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See you.
Bye.
Well, João said for us to stay behind.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for organizing.
Thank you. I will close for everyone.